Hey guys, my name is Adam Cox. I'm the children's pastor at West Acres.
My name's Jesse. I'm the director of communication and media here at West Acres.
So we are going to show you our Shipwrecked. You guys kind of saw some photos of it, but we're going to give you an in-depth look at it right now. We're going to start over here with the boxes. Jesse's going to show you some of the stuff that we did for our boxes, and then we'll move on to the ship and some of the other cool stuff that you guys had questions about. So we hope you enjoy it. If you do, like our children's Facebook page, follow us. We got some cool stuff we'll show you guys. So here we go.
All right, so over here, our mantra is always work smarter, not harder, and we try and go as cheap as possible. So all this is refrigerator boxes that somebody gave us, and this is just green insulation foam that you can get from Home Depot, 1/2 inch thick. All you do is you measure. You want it to look like an old vintage crate, so you just measure out however wide you want it to be, do the measurements, hot glue them on there, and then to get to the wood grain, you just take a rust brush, you get rust off metal, just scrape it down the side, and then you paint it. And we'll talk about painting a little bit later, but then you paint it to make it look a little more like wood, and put some stencils on there from far away. It reads like an old wooden crate.
That's right. This is actually boxes we got at Lowe's. Regular boxes. We taped the top. If you actually look at the bottom of this box, you can see we just didn't even paint it. And what's awesome about this, we did something a little bit different. We use this for our children's worship time, so we wanted to make this last. We wanted it to be something that we could constantly use on a weekday or a weekend basis. So that's why we went ahead and we really took the extra time. To be honest with you, it only took 3 days to build these boxes. We actually have somebody, this is one of the characters, we actually have our own kids show. You can check it out on Right Now Media on its website, chestersgarage.org. But this is like one of our characters, Chester. He's going to pop up. Hey, Chester, you here, man? Uh-oh.
He's coming.
He's coming. Let's see, where's he at? Yeah, so to go along, Chester, he pops out of the box. We'll have one character come out of this box, Chester will come out of there. On the other side, actually, we have Polly, who's one of our pirates that comes out. So it's awesome. We can use this stuff on children's worship. So we're not throwing it away. This is going to be something that we will use on Sunday mornings. So that's awesome to be able to have that. 3 days to make the boxes. That was probably one of the longest things to make, is all of the boxes, just because of the detail. But we knew we would be keeping them, so we wanted to make them well. Stencils we used off of
it's a Cricut. It's just a Cricut machine. A lot of people use it to make T-shirts and stuff like that. And I just mocked up some stencils, printed it out on the Cricut, and white spray paint, and that's it.
Spray paint is key. Don't roll it, because it won't look good. It doesn't give you that awesome effect right there. Overspray. Something here. This is something that I found online. You can get it through Amazon. Chauvet Lighting, however you want to pronounce that, makes it. Do you remember what that's called?
I just thought it was called like a campfire.
Yeah, there's something for it. Some kind of on there, I don't know. But anyway, when the lights get turned down, man, it really looks. We just took basic drop cloth and put around it. Yeah, that's stuff that we used to paint, and just put that around it to make it look good. We actually we were going to do the whole stage with that, and it was just nasty, so we wrinkled it up and put it around the base. Trees, I think every church has old foliage
everywhere.
That no one wants in there, and we had this stored in the back, brought it out, put it in fillers, and happened. Let's go to the boat. This is what a lot of you guys, I'll show you some detail in there. It's actually, you can kind of see the grain, how that is.
So it's also foam. We live by two things, foam and Gorilla Tape. And so this is actually, it's not that green foam. This is 1/2 inch white bead foam from Lowe's as well. And why you want to use the bead foam is because it bends easily this way and this way. That way it can go over a complex curve, and that's what you want for a boat. And so all we did was we made the skeleton. We'll show you some of that a little later, I'm sure. The skeleton of the boat, the shape, we used PVC pipe to make the top and the bottom shape so we can connect them. And then all we did is we drew out how we wanted the wood grain to look.
And that is key.
Yes, draw it out first. Always draw it out first before you burn it in, because once you burn it in, it's there.
Yep.
And all we did is we used soldering irons to burn in the wood grain. You could use a wood burning tool. It doesn't matter. Anything that gets hot that'll cut through foam, and that's how you get that wood grain look. And up here, we actually made, gosh, I don't even know what it's called, but it's the keel area, I imagine. And we didn't want this to have wood grain. We wanted it to look like hewn wood. So all we did was just put little scratches and marks, and
that's all with the
soldering iron. Yeah, but again, a wood burning tool will work as well. So for the paint, did you?
No, the big thing that you've got to really think about with this is the detail.
Yes.
You know, you can throw anything up, but the more detail that you put into it, the better it's going to be.
Yes.
And that's
especially
something,
close and far away is what you want to think about.
Yeah, that's something that we really we build it fast, but the detail is what we really do, and we spend a lot of time on. So let's dive into the paint and how we painted this thing, because I think we painted it in less than a day.
Mm-hmm. Talk about the base coat.
Yeah.
Talk about what we did and what we found out.
So a lot of things that we found out about this. Once we had this, it was all white. The whole ship was white. Then what we decided to do is we started off. One thing, we had to build it in our sanctuary. We could not come in here until Tuesday to build. So
it would not have fit through the doors.
Yeah. So we actually had to build it in here. So basically, start off with a tan color. We would roll the whole thing. Use paint brushes, whatever you can to do that. Once we finally started rolling it, we got it. Of course, it had to dry. The next thing, actually, before we painted it, we had to burn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you draw out your wood and then you burn it before you paint it and everything. Then you have to paint it. So what's crazy about this is when you paint this boat, you have to get down in these cracks. Now, we were taking a brush.
Which is hard when your material does this.
And we were literally painting inside of each crack, and it was awful. And a church member came in, and he was like, "Hey, I've got a sprayer, one of those paint sprayers that does trim." He's like, "Let me get it and bring it home." Literally, we had this thing painted in 30 minutes.
It would have saved us a good hour.
Yes.
If we had that originally.
So after you do that, you painted the brown, then here comes the other part.
The thing is, when you're making something like a set piece or something like that, when you want it to look semi-realistic, one color, even two colors, is not really going to cut it. It's just going to look flat. So, of course, you get the brown base coat, got it all in the cracks, and then what we did next is we did what's called a wash, and you want a dark color, so we use black, and you water it down. So it's just a little bit of black paint. You put a lot of water in it to water it down, and then you just slather it on there, and what happens is it's so watery it fills the cracks. And you paint the whole thing black, and it's going to scare you because your whole boat's now black. But then you take some rags, and you're going to need a ton of rags.
A ton.
And then you just wipe off the black just like this, and the black will come off of the flat areas. It'll make the brown a little darker, which is fine. But the dark black will stay in the cracks, which is what you want. So once that dries, you're not done. You do next what's called a dry brush technique. And what that is just a tiny bit of paint on your brush. And you use like a horsehair brush, or not a fine brush that has like little bristles going everywhere. And you barely dip it in, and you dab it off on whatever you have, and you just streak it across.
And you can kind of see the
here's
difference.
some good ones up here. And what it does, if you can see here, is it leaves the dark areas, the grain dark, and basically it changes just a little bit of this, but what it does is it hits these high areas right here with a lighter color. So these little edges right here will pop off of your set piece a lot easier, and then it gives you that multicolor look too that makes it more wood-like and not just a flat color. So you want that multicolor look, and what you do is it's kind of like a three-phase deal. Base paint, wash coat, and then dry brush, and that adds all together to make a more realistic look.
Yeah, so one thing that we had to do when we built this, we would start on one side. When that paint dry, one side you paint, go to the other side and paint. Hopefully by the other time it's finished dry, so we can do that. But that's the most pain. Oh gosh, you will get dirty, and make sure you have a ton of drop cloths down, because when you put that black on there,
it's gonna go everywhere.
It goes everywhere. Arms will be black. It's messy. It washes off. Yeah. It's not bad. So that was something else. So like the portholes, you can see now. A lot of people asked, like I'm gonna show you this before we get into the secrets of what comes out of the portholes. Same thing. It's the foam. We burned the holes out, painted it, did the exact same thing.
Well, we haven't dry brushed it yet, but whatever.
Yeah. So one big thing is, before we forget, he mentioned Gorilla Tape. Gorilla Tape could be a sponsor for us over the years. If anybody from Gorilla Tape works, we'll take free donations. And hot glue gun. Those are the two things for this set that we built that you have to have. So those portholes are glued on with hot glue, like this piece here. The top piece, hot glue, all of that.
This piece to these pieces, hot glue.
That's all hot glue. Now you can't get it too hot, because if you get it too hot, we had problems with it melting and it wouldn't stick. So kind of the big thing that you'll see here, we have here a they're called from American DJ. They're Fog Fury Jet Pros. We use them in our children's morning worship time. And every VBX set we have, we try to do things like this. So we wanted something like a cannon to shoot out. So basically it comes with a nice little remote. 4 settings, you can do the color. It's just a very high pressured fog. So when you hit the button like I'm gonna do, it shoots out. So as long as you hold it, it's gonna continue to shoot out. So like I can hold it longer, and it's just gonna keep going for I think 30 seconds, and then it cuts off because it has to warm back up. So that's kind of a key, because all the kids love it. There's always a big surprise when we're doing our countdown and it's getting ready to start. Boom, we'll hit it a couple times. Boom, the other side shot out in that one. We
didn't buy this specifically for VBX. Right. I think that's we're trying to use things that we already have for the most part.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, they're not cheap. This is their top of the line, but they actually sell cheaper ones. Chauvet makes one. This is just the one we went with when we had bought it. So that's something that we use in our children's worship time every Sunday. Also, it's quick dissipating fog, so basically it's not gonna be in the air long, and it goes away. You can actually see inside and see how that is, what it looks like. So you'll see all of the LEDs, real simple. You can mount them anywhere, and we pretty much put that anywhere. So let's go to the back side of this set, and let's take a look. So as you can see here, big hole to get in with a lot of stuff. This is the area that a lot of people don't get to see, but you guys do.
So this is the inside of the boat. As you can see, we understand full well that this is only going to be here for 4 days, so we don't try and make it, crazy, like it's going to be here forever. We just understand that it has to be torn down quick and it has to be light and stable. So all we did is we took some 1x1s and we built a skeleton, basically in kind of like a slanted pyramid shape. You can kind of mock this up before you make it. And then all we did is we wrapped PVC, it's 1/2-inch PVC pipe around the edges in the form that you want your outer hull to be on the top and the bottom, so that your foam has a shape to hold. And then all we did was we literally Gorilla Taped the styrofoam to the PVC pipe. Again, like we said before, we live and we die by Gorilla Tape, and it has never failed us yet, knock on wood. And the whole boat is basically foam and Gorilla Tape.
I mean, you can see we use it for everything.
Mm-hmm. And this right here, all this is an old carpet tube, and it was already broken, which was fantastic for us because this is shipwrecked. And all we did, again, it is drilled. It has 1 screw into that cross beam, and the rest is just, again, Gorilla Tape. So
yeah, we actually painted the top of it. You really can't tell. But I would. Yeah, it was brown. You can brush stroke it and make it kind of look like wood if you want going to. So the big thing that a lot of people you see is the sail. And when you look at it, how tall did we say? I mean, our ceilings
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, our ceilings are pretty tall. I think they're 30-something feet. We actually had to put a cable into it.
It's the scariest part of this set.
Yeah, all that is our sail. All that is a drop cloth painted canvas. Yeah, I went out in 90-something degree heat and rolled it red, and it was awful. Then basically we trashed it and stepped on it all week long, ripped it to make it look like it's shipwrecked. All you see here is PVC pipe painted, and we actually it gets smaller as it goes up. You can't see. Let's see if you can see the back side of it. Yeah, you can kind of see a lot of rope, but it's just PVC pipe pieced together all the way to the top, and just tore all to pieces. Yeah, so that's some of the things that we have. Bubble machines, we will hook our bubble machines. Of course, we have worship service on Sunday, but we'll fill this room with bubble machines. Confetti cannons, we actually will be shooting those out. So we try to make this week awesome. We don't call it VBS. Some people mentioned that. It's VBX for us, Vacation Bible Extreme, because we try to make it crazy as we can for the kids, and they seem to love it. So I guess that's it that I can think of right now. If you guys have any other questions, you can just, send me a message. You can send Jesse. You can go to our website, westacres.org. And man, we will try to help you guys the best we can.
I will say one thing. You don't have to have a big budget to do stuff like this.
That's right.
Just use what you have, and styrofoam's relatively cheap. But don't be afraid to ask for things like the boxes we asked and we got, the carpet tube we asked and we got. So, don't be afraid. The paint sprayer we got, we borrowed. Just don't be afraid to ask.
And a lot of this stuff, a lot of the wood we have is from other projects around our church, and we save everything afterwards. The only thing we don't save is the foam on the ship. That'll probably get thrown away because we probably can't use it again. But everything else, drop cloths, you have to have them at your church. If you save the wood, if you have a space for that. Paint, we have a room full of paint in our church. Rope, all that stuff you can have, and use all the screws. A lot of the screws we'll pull back out and store. I know it's crazy. It saves money. So don't think that it's expensive. There were some big things, but a lot of times Lowe's, Home Depot, if you tell them what you're doing, they will help you out. Gorilla Tape, we use a ton of that stuff. Stock up on Gorilla Tape, and a lot of other things we have in our ministry. So that's how we make our sets. Last year, you can see on our church's YouTube page, we made the rocket for submerged that was as tall as the ceiling.
Submerged. What was it called?
Star. You all know what it is. Galactic Starfares. Yeah. Then we did submerged. We did a giant submarine with huge 20-foot waves. We've done the jungle. So anyway, this is kind of the shipwreck version. We love the theme this year, and we wanted to do it. And man, we haven't been disappointed yet with it. So we're excited about what's going on. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Adam, and
I'm Jesse.
Jesse, and we hope you guys enjoyed our little shipwrecked adventure. Hope you guys have a great VBS. See you guys.